No, we're not doing that.
But Joe, this film is about a vigilante. What better time to crowdsource ways that we can...
You know as well as I do, that it's a crime for you to finish that sentence.
But Joe...
And we have a guest this week. We can't risk them being guilty by association.
You never let me have any fun.
It's for your own good. Welcome to Does This Still Work? The podcast looks at old movies and asks, does this still work? I'm Joe Dixon.
And I'm George Romacka. And today we'll be discussing Coffy from 1973 and some historical context. First, podcasty stuff. We're excited to announce that we've joined the Creator Accountability Network. CAN is a nonprofit dedicated to reducing harassment and abuse through ethical education and a system of restorative accountability. We joined because we care about the safety and well-being of our community members. If you feel our behavior or content has harmed someone, please report it to CAN, either via the reporting form on their website, creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org, or via their hotline at 617-249-4255. They'll help us make it right and avoid repeating that mistake in the future. CAN also needs volunteers from our communities to help with their work, so if you have skills you think would be helpful, or time and a desire to help, please visit their website to find out how you can volunteer. Most importantly, get the word out to other creators who you think would be interested in getting credentialed. Help us build safer communities together. You can reach us at dtswpod@gmail.com, on Facebook, Letterboxd, and on our YouTube channel. Joe is on Blue Sky at joedixon.bsky.social. Please tell your friends about us, even the ones that are sex workers making cold calls, and leave 5-star ratings everywhere. You can pick what we watch and get extra per episode content by funding us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/dtswpod. And one more thing, we have a guest! Danny is a Cuban-American actor and filmmaker known for his gritty New York City style and magnetic presence on screen. He got his start in the underground film scene with Alphabet City and went on to star in Harvey Weinstein, whatever that... Yeah, that guy. Playing for Keeps and AMC's The Making of the Mob. Yes, that Harvey Weinstein, whatever. Don't hold that against Danny. Over the years, he's worked with theater greats like Herbert Berkoff and Oscar winner Bobby Moresco, bringing intensity and heart to every role. Through his company, Veritas Arts International, Danny wrote and directed Frog Dreams, which won the Spirit of Queens Award. Lately, he's been keeping busy with roles in indie films and directing his comedy pilot Brooklyn Vans, premiering at the New Filmmakers Film Festival in New York City. Please welcome Daniel Jordano.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this film today.
Yes, but why don't you tell us why you picked this film and give the audience a little bit about your background in acting and film?
Well, as you had mentioned in my bio, my first major film was Alphabet City, which was back in the early 80s. And
that's when I was born.
Yeah, exactly. I'm way older than you guys. And
not way older than me.
Yeah.
What is Alphabet City the one with was that Wesley Snipes in it?
No, Vincent Spano.
Okay.
Vincent Spano was directed by Amos Poe, but it was, but I grew up, with these films I also have a little bit of a foray. I had 2 lines in another revenge film called Death Wish 3.
Oh.
And so that was my first actual participation in a revenge film. And I'm still getting wonderful 25-cent checks every year with regards to that part.
Guy in that.
Well, real quick, Joe,
yeah.
I can absolutely see how you could get Vincent Spano and Wesley Snipes mixed up.
I was getting the names of the films mixed up because there's a Wesley Snipes picture with Judd Nelson called not Alphabet. It's something like Alphabet City, but not Alphabet City, I guess. Unless the 2 films are the same name, it could be.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so why did I choose Coffy? Well, I grew up, watching these films. I probably saw Coffy when I was about like 16 or 17 on like one of these cable channels, because this is not something that would come on normal television.
That's a lot of tits for a 17-year-old to see.
Perfect timing, actually. But I regret not having seen it in the on the Deuce. Like some of my friends told me that they had seen it. But
let me explain that real quick. The Deuce
yeah.
is Times Square, George.
Exactly.
I believe
He's younger than us.
Okay. But anyway, I thought that this film, and I still think it's one of the best. It's the best to me, and my favorite of the whole blaxploitation genre. I just think it just ticks all the boxes. I just love everything about it. The music and Pam Grier to me is, an icon. I think, I am going to say something to preface this whole discussion of this film. Pam Grier should definitely have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And I Googled it and I found that she didn't have one. So now I am publicly stating that I want to spearhead this, this effort to get her star, because this film and a lot of the films that she did were really groundbreaking, in my opinion, for women and especially for African American women.
Well, this podcast did try to get The Color Purple into the National Film Registry and failed to do that.
Really?
So maybe this isn't where to announce that.
Okay.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
Maybe.
But I just feel so strongly about her. I think she's amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So did you write this thing in here?
What thing?
In
the script?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was just a little note for myself. My copy. I didn't know that was going on yours. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, go ahead and read it. It's good stuff.
This is just notes. Before there was Wonder Woman, before there was Kill Bill, there was Pam Grier, the woman who kicked open Hollywood's doors with a shotgun and a smile.
Come on, smile.
That's. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but anyway.
I know you should.
I should? Okay.
It's good stuff.
All right. Born in North Carolina and raised in Air Force bases around the world, she worked her way up from a receptionist at Roger Corman's AIP offices to become the first black female action star in movie history. In the early 70s, she headlined Coffy, Foxy Brown, and Sheba Baby, films that fused raw social anger with style, humor, and sex appeal. And she did it on her own terms. Pam Grier wasn't just a character on screen. She was a revolution in motion. Wow. A woman who made strength and sensuality coexist. 50 years later, her impact still shapes how we see female power in cinema. I really believe that. And she's not just a cult icon, she's Hollywood royalty. Hence, my push for the star.
Okay. See, that's not just notes. That's some writing.
Right. I glitched it from somewhere.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
So you would you say you're heavily influenced by Tarantino? Or rather, you want to be on the same track as him?
Me personally, as a filmmaker?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I wouldn't say that's one of my main influences, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan like Tarantino. I could say that.
Would he have the same influences?
So which your fetishes has made it into all of your films?
Which is my fetishes? I'm probably my.
You don't actually have to answer that question. I promise you.
Oh, my fetish. Well, I was gonna clean that word fetish. I was gonna have a very broad definition of that. But my biggest influence is probably, believe it or not, Cassavetes. John Cassavetes, just for his personal grit and just realism and naturalistic style, handheld style. That influenced me a lot. I think.
What did you think of Gloria?
Oh, I love it. I love everything Cassavetes did. Really.
That's his biggest action picture, right? Gloria?
Yes, it is. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's great.
What's your favorite Cassavetes? Or do you have one?
Wow. Probably the biggest one was, the biggest influence that really shocked me was A Woman Under the Influence.
Okay.
Which was...
See that? I've never seen it.
Oh, incredible film. And I think to this day, the best film ever done handling the topic of mental illness without ever mentioning what illness. They gloss over it, which is so perfect because that's exactly how it probably would happen in real life. People don't want to deal with it. So there's all this stuff that's being pushed under the rug, and just the, Cassavetes' style of just letting things play on, and so where you just wishing they would cut, wishing they would stop the camera because it's so uncomfortable, because he just forces your face into the high stakes situation and doesn't let you go. And to me, it was revelation.
You got to put that on the list, George. We haven't seen it.
You got to put that on. Yeah, you should do it.
I've never seen it.
And once you see it, you should definitely do a show about that one. That's a great one.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, let's talk about Coffy.
George, take us back to 1973.
Okay.
And that's the way it was.
This film paints a picture of California drenched in cocaine and full to the brim with cold-calling call girls. Our protagonist, Flower Child Coffin, aka Coffy, is a vigilante. So let's talk about vigilantes in California in 1973. Joe, give us our first headline from the Daily Times Advocate of Escondido, California.
Vigilantes sought in safety drive.
The California Safety Foundation put out a call for people willing to be trained on how to spot what they called booby traps on the highways. In this case, a booby trap is a hazard present on the roads that can be engineered out. The example they give is a heavy signpost in the crotch of a Y-turn. This was a really easy thing to crash into if you got confused for a second. The solution there would be to replace them with overhead suspension signals. Why were they called vigilantes? Because it sounds sexy, that's why.
Ah.
So I'll give them an A.
And is that also why you called it the crotch in the signpost?
Nope, that is what the article called.
As soon as you said the word booby trap, I thought for sure you were talking about the movie. Because there's a lot of booby traps in that movie.
We'll get to the boobies.
So I'll give it an A for a crowdsourcing solution in 1973, but a C- for diluting the meaning of the word vigilante. For more on that, Joe, give us our second headline from the Daily News Post of Monrovia, California.
Plan spokesman defends action against vigilante label.
Plan, or people looking ahead now,
Okay.
had filed suit in U.S. District Court against Fashion Park Shopping Center before any construction had commenced to prevent it from becoming a pollution source to the surrounding community. Lawyers for the shopping center sent out a press release calling Plan a bunch of vigilantes. Plan responded, as they absolutely should have, by correcting them on their misuse of that word. Quoting, "The term vigilante implies that we are taking the law into our own hands and not making use of the court system. Plan is manifestly seeking through legitimate legal action the compliance with our nation's laws by Santa Anita and the Arcadia City Council." They followed that up with, and I'm paraphrasing, "You idiots decided to start construction with a pending court case against you. It's not our fault you spend a ton of money on something that was never a sure thing." I don't know if that shopping center was ever completed, or if it was ever really the pollution risk that Plan said it was, but I do have one more vigilante story.
None of these have Bronson in it, and I'm disappointed.
Right? Or, rope. Charlie Bronson always had rope.
Did he have rope? I just remember the guns.
According to the Boondock Saints, he always had rope.
Okay.
Joe, we're going to go back to the Daily Times Advocate of Escondido, California for this last headline.
New vigilantes.
The writer gives us a slightly deeper definition of what vigilanteism entails. Quoting, "It is an axiom of the law that there can only be one sovereign power within a territory, namely the state. It is also the partial history of the United States that when a group believes that the state is not proceeding in accordance with the higher moral law, such group appropriates the powers of the state." Okay. These groups, or individuals in these groups, are vigilantes. He goes on to describe the Founding Fathers as having started that way, as well as the KKK.
Well, I guess there is some overlap.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He specifically calls out the Watergate perpetrators as vigilantes and cautions that when people within the government become vigilantes, that it's the damn near definition of a totalitarian state. Like we have now. Here's looking at you, ICE. Then he goes on to decry a group in Maryland called the Black Octobers.
Oh, nice name for a band.
Right? This was a group of black people who, like our protagonist, were fed up with the drugs in their communities and resorted to extrajudicial murder to try and solve the problem.
As you do.
As one does. He doesn't actually say they're wrong, just misguided. Let's see if we feel that way about our protagonist. So, Joe, let's talk about Coffy.
Let's talk about Coffy.
Yes.
But one more question before we get into Coffy, because you didn't answer the question. I wanted to make sure we got to it. Dan, in Death Wish 3, were you a good guy or a bad guy?
I was one of the gang members. I was one of the bad guys. So I have this great scene where it's literally 2 lines. I come running, and I got hired to do the line. I was actually doing background, and the director said, I'm going to give you a line. So I got upgraded. It was amazing. And so I had to run past the main bad guy, who grabs me and he says, did you see him? And then I look at him and I go, no, I didn't see anything, man. And then there's a chopper flying overhead. And so I look at it. It's supposed to be a TV chopper. So I look at the TV chopper and I says, hey, look, we're on TV. And then we go on running. So I still get 25-cent checks every year. You know, it's a wonderful thing, residuals. But you know, I tell you, that movie is a trip. I recently saw it again also. And, you know, there's nothing like watching. To me, I think that movie has probably the highest body count of any revenge film ever done, because you had Charles Bronson running through the Bronx, to the South Bronx with a what do you call that? M50? 50 caliber. But the kind of machine guns with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just mowing people down the whole movie. It's amazing.
Crazy stuff.
Fantastic.
Okay, back to this film.
Yeah, back to this one.
Back to Coffy. It was written and directed by Jack Hill.
Yes.
And I've seen his work in Foxy Brown.
Yes.
It was also written by Pam Grier. I'm sorry, do you want to add something, Dan?
No. Okay.
Do you know Jack Hill's work?
I do. I've seen just about all of them, except maybe his first 2. I saw the Big Dollhouse and all the prison behind the women in prison movies. Those were great too.
Was that his specialty, women in prison?
Yeah, he did. What's it called? The caged.
Cage Heat.
Yeah, something like that. Wait, hold on. The Big Bird Cage and the Big Dollhouse. It was like two of them.
But he didn't do Bird Cage.
No, but they both had Pam Grier in it. That's why he wrote Coffy for Pam Grier. That's another thing. Yeah.
Let's get into the blurbs. IMDb says a nurse serves inner city drug dealers with some vigilante justice after her sister becomes their latest victim. Okay, leaves out a lot, but that's fine. YouTube says Pam Grier, Foxy Brown, stars as Nurse Coffy Coffin in The Mother of All Films.
The Mother of All Films. That? How do you just that like in what's? I mean, it does have a lot of tits, but I can't even say this is the most tits in a movie that's not porn. Like, there's other movies that have more. Like, there's nothing that this has more of than anything else, except maybe Pam Grier.
Just an interesting line there. Okay, anyway, Coffy is a one-woman vigilante force out to even the score with those who have hooked her sister on drugs. Using her feminine wiles, along with deadly weaponry, Coffy sets about ridding the streets of low-life drug dealers, pimps, deviant, and society scum. Jack Hill, Foxy Brown Bloodbath, directs Booker Bradshaw, The Strawberry Statement, Skullduggery, Robert Decoy, RoboCop, and Sid Haig, Black Mama, White Mama, co-star in this cult classic.
Okay, Sid Haig. Sid Haig was also a regular in Jack Hill films. He played a bad guy in one of the prison movies. I think both of them.
Is that his real name, Sid Haig?
Sid Haig, yeah, he's great.
It's a little close to Sieg Heil.
No, he's really good. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some of the characters we're going to be discussing. Coffy, of course, is played by Pam Grier. And for the podcast, we've seen her in Jackie Brown and Jawbreaker. Both George and I have seen her in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And I've seen her in Mars Attacks, Posse, Friday Foster, and Scream, Blackula Scream.
And I've seen her in Escape from LA.
And you want to do some of the credits you've seen her in, Dan?
Oh, wow. I've seen her in all the Jack Hill films, obviously, and also Jackie Brown.
Cool.
Yeah.
Howard Brunswick, the boyfriend, is played by Booker Bradshaw. Do you know Booker, any more of Booker's stuff? I think this may be his only film, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
No? All right. King George, that's the pimp, is played by Robert Decoy. And I've seen his work in Shortcuts, And Green Eyes, a TV movie.
Real quick, Booker Bradshaw, 5 movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I've seen him in RoboCop.
You've seen the Robert DeCoy.
Yeah.
All right, Carter, that's the last good cop. He's played by William Elliott. Do we got any credits for William Elliott, Dan? Do you know any?
No, I don't.
Okay. And Vitaroni, that's the narco source, is played by Alan Arbus. Both George and I mostly know him from MASH, the TV show.
Yep.
Played the
Doctor.
the psychiatrist.
Right.
Sure. Yep.
I knew he looked familiar. I couldn't place him, but that's it.
When he comes on screen, I just lose my shit. I'm like, Dr. Friedman, what happened?
Fallen so far.
Exactly.
I've never seen him play anything else. It was just pretty funny.
The line I always remember is depression is anger turned inwards. Anger turned sideways is Hawkeye.
Ah, good line. I lied. Actually, I have seen him in other stuff. I've seen him in Volunteers, which I didn't remember, and Putney Swoop.
Putney Swoop.
Putney, sorry. I should know that. And I've seen him in Volunteers and Putney Swoop.
And is that Swoop or Swope?
I mean, Swoop, right? Swoop, Dan, right? That's a famous...
Swoop would have 2 O's.
Who's the director of Putney Swoop?
That's Robert Downey Sr.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is a story about this black ad agent... or ad writer, whatever, and ad executive, I guess I should say, and he works at this mostly white company, and everybody votes. They need a new replacement or whatever. The boss of the company, someone died. I don't remember what happened. But anyway, they all vote for him, but it's an accident because they all thought someone else was going to wouldn't vote for him. And to be kind, they all said they voted for him, and then they accidentally all vote for him to be the president of the company. And he turns it into this hip black advertising company. As you want to do when you're a black executive around white people. That's when all your blackness comes out. Anyway, let's get into the summary of this plot before we start discussing it.
Okay.
When she is not working as a nurse, Coffy is out killing dudes who she blames for hooking her 11-year-old sister on drugs. In fact, she is so intent on murder that she even goes undercover as a prostitute to track down the pimps, drug traffickers, crooked cops, and various other lowlifes that have ruined her community. Which begs the question, how does she do this and still have time to be a nurse? Even in 1973, when this movie happens, nursing requires a lot of long hours. Did she quit? Is she on leave? What the fuck?
Good questions, Joe.
Also, if it's that easy to find all these people, how the hell were they able to build a criminal enterprise? They're very sloppy. These people would all have been in jail well before they could have developed a pimp to drug selling pipeline, but that's just what I think. Anyway, when she isn't doing what Donald Trump does to guys fishing in international waters, she makes friends with a cop who isn't on the take. 5 minutes after turning down an offer to be corrupt, he gets beat up and put in a coma. So now there are 2 people Coffy has to avenge. 2 people we, the audience, will never see again, by the way.
By the way, that's exactly why all cops are bastards. Because that happens. Any cop that goes into the force thinking, I'm going to be a good cop, they end up killed or pushed out of the force by all the other cops. So
put into a psychiatric unit. Don't forget that story.
Right. So while there may be good cops, they're not there long enough to matter.
Dan, do you know that story of this is a real story happened in New York City a couple of years ago. This cop was out not writing enough tickets to the want of the rest of the law enforcement of his bosses. And he said, it's just not, he likes talking to people. He doesn't really want to do all that sort of stuff. And they thought he was nuts. And they put him in a psychiatric unit. I'm not making that true. It's the wildest story. You got to look it up. I tell it to everybody. It's just insane. Anyway, back to the summary of this thing. One other man Coffy is involved with is a guy running for office. Generally, when you're running for office and your girlfriend becomes an undercover vigilante hooker, the press would notice. But not in this universe. Coffy does find out that her boyfriend is involved with the sex worker / drug pusher network, though. In the end, she kills all the horrible men, including that boyfriend, and walks off along a beach. The end. Guys, did I leave anything out? Danny, you're our guest.
I think that's a pretty good summary. I think that's and I love the way it starts. And she does clean up her tracks very well. Before the press gets to it. Remember, But I love the way the movie opens because it's right in the middle of what in most movies would be the climax.
Right.
Where and the movie opens with that bow chicka wow wow, 70s funky groove, and then the sleazy drug dealer comes in and is basically selling her to the big boy, the big boss drug dealer, and then he basically decides to take her home, and that's when she basically execute him within the first 5 minutes of the film. So she's like this avenging angel within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the film, and then you see her running into the operating room. You're like, what? What is going on? Wait, she just blew this guy's head off with a shotgun, and now she's running into the operating room, and they're bringing in the victims of her crime into the hospital, and even her cop friend is asking her about the whole scene, and she's just playing it off like, okay, oh yeah, I was, whatever. So she has a nice little cover for herself, to get away with it. But
she also she keeps sort of like trying to hint that she's doing some shit. Like, oh, don't you just wish people would take the law into their own hands and murder all these fuckers? Don't you? I mean, sometimes I really, really want to.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She's trying to drop those hints.
About that first scene, though. Yeah. Where's the shotgun come from?
Yeah. I forgot. I think
she comes.
What was it in the? I think was it in the apartment? I forget where she pulls it out of. She pulls it out. I don't know where she gets it.
She has a shotgun.
Sort of. But that scene is amazing, and the way the exploding head is also quite great. It's like the shot from behind the guy's head, and his head explodes like a pumpkin. Fantastic.
So the only other thing you left out was the just insane quantity of boobs.
Oh yes, that's key.
We're gonna everywhere.
Oh no, but I was gonna say something about when she drops the hints. Apparently I was looking at researching some of the trivia behind the film. Apparently the studio had wanted Jack Hill to cut some of the talky parts, and they just wanted boobs and the action. They didn't want all the talk about, the corruption.
The morality of anything?
And the morality of it. Yeah, exactly. And he had to fight to keep that stuff in. But of course, that's what makes the spine of the film is the fact that, she does have her own logic, as warped as it may be, to doing what she's doing. And the fact that her little sister was, a victim of the system, and they talking about the system and how everybody's corrupt. And so it's basically her against this wall of corruption that she has to talk about a little bit, to see her character development. And I think that's what's so great about the film and what sets it apart. And one of the things that sets it apart is the fact that she, her character is very well, does have like an arc. And as primitive as it may be, it's there, and you can see, the wheels turning in her head about what's going on and how she has to fight all the corruption that's all around her. And she's like the moral center of the picture.
She's certainly that.
Yeah.
So my next question is about the nudity in the film, since we was kind of discussing it already. And maybe the two of you can fill me in on something. During Coffy's fight scene with these sex workers, where for some reason all the women's tops get pulled off, as women do when they're fighting. As we all of us seen women fight, right? And that's the first thing that comes off is their tops. Anyway, why does Jerry, King George's main woman, get bloody hands after grabbing Coffy's hair? Do you remember? She grabbed suddenly she's like, ah!
I definitely want to answer this one because Joe told me he was going to be asking this, and I had to remind him that he texted me that so that he'd put it in the script. Joe, did you not see her hiding weapons in her afro?
I didn't. Were there razor blades in there?
Yes. She was hiding sharp, spiky things in her afro. She hides sharp rocks in her afro.
Later she does, but I didn't see in that scene. Okay.
She did there. And her doing that the entire movie was Pam Grier's idea. Okay. She was like, I could hide shit up here. Why am I not just doing that? And
that's right.
People, so that because what happens, that woman goes to grab her hair and then,
that was great.
That sharp. Wouldn't they be cutting her scalp?
You can.
She had it in the wig. She had it in a huge ass wig.
So if you take for instance, like there's a comb, right? Like a short handheld. You could sharpen the tips of that, stick it in your afro so that the handle of it's on your head.
Right.
So no, it's not stabbing you in the head.
Okay.
Do you know this from experience? Have you tried this before?
Yes.
George, remember you had an afro?
Yes, that time that I had an afro. See,
But yeah, no,
I can yes and.
Yeah, but I did. No, you're right. I did read that she improvised that scene and then he kept it in. But that's tremendous. Also, that she did all her own stunts. She did all that rolling around on the floor and jumping around, and she has a lot of fight scenes.
But you know, one of the reasons she had to do her own stunts?
Budget.
Well, budget, and also they didn't have a lot of black stunt people back in the day. So what they would have is they have a white man put on blackface,
oh jeez,
put on a wig, and go run around. She's like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not making some guy have to do a hate crime to get a paycheck.
Oh, this is my favorite bit of trivia. You know who actually started, not started, but helped the Association for Black Stunt Workers that actually broke the color barrier and actually got black stunt people? Because he was a regular on a TV show, and he said, I'm not going to have some white guy putting on black. I'll just hire black guys to do it. You know the name of that man. Mm-mm. He had a very popular sitcom in the 80s.
Go Cosby?
Bill Cosby.
Well, holy
Cosby
fuck.
Responsible for.
Wow.
Stuntman.
All right, Bill.
Where the world takes us, we just never know. Anyway, back to the questions for the film.
Yeah.
I like Naked Ladies as much as the next guy, but how exploitive do you find the nude scenes in this movie?
Very.
Terrifically so.
Yes. They were black exploitation. Yeah, boob exploitation. Also, yes,
definitely one of the classic boob exploitation films. But just about like every 5 minutes, you have some boob making an appearance. Even when the spy, remember she's in the nightclub and there's like a spy in the nightclub looking at spying on the politician and then he goes to get somebody takes a photograph and he goes to the cocktail waitress to get the film from her. And of course he has to rip her blouse open to get the film. It's like, really?
Like,
and boobs just pop out. It's like, oh my God, it's hilarious.
It's insane. Well, speaking of boobs, how are the men depicted in this picture? What do you think of the men in Coffy?
Wow.
Every man in this movie sucks except for the one that gets put in a coma. And he just sucks at being a cop and surviving.
Yes, but first of all, just dumb. You think these men have never had sex before? They're like horny teenagers.
Yep.
The moment they see her, it's like, boing, boing, boing. The eyes start popping out of their heads. So like, I want to fuck her right away. I'm like, all these other women, guys, calm down.
Weirdly, so I know what movie we're watching after this, and earlier Joe and I were talking. I'm like, yeah, it'd be hard to get them confused. Actually, there is one sense in which it would be easy. Both of these movies have a whole like, oh, you have to come see this girl that I have found for you aspect in the very beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah.
What was the other film? I don't remember what we were discussing.
The one for next week.
No, it's not.
You never heard
that down by law. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Very beginning, like almost the very beginning of the movie. Hey, you need to come see this girl that I found for you. Like,
getting back to your question about the men. This was a time, right in obviously just after or during the civil rights movement. So that was like a big thought. There was the black militancy thing that was going on at the time. Also, remember this was during the crash, the white flight in a lot of suburban areas where people were taken off from the main cities because of crime and everything was the heroin epidemic was everywhere. So obviously that was in the conscience of the screenwriter, and when he wrote all these things, and so and what's typical of a lot of these movies at that time was interweaving the corruption. It's not just the politicians, it's not just the criminals, it's not just the cops. They're all working together. It's the system. It's the man. It's the system, literally called the man. And so every man is involved in one of those segments that's causing all the mayhem.
Sure. All right, Danny, as a filmmaker, what would you change if you were making this a movie, if anything? This is a revenge movie with a lot of social commentary. Do you think the commentary is drowned out by all the sex and violence?
Do I think say that again? Do I think the commentary is drowned?
Do you think the social commentary is drowned out by all the endless boobs and shotgun action? Or do you think...
No, it could have been, but I don't think it was. And I tell you, I think I alluded to that before. I think mainly because of the character that she portrays. And because it's anchored so much in her pain and her desperation and the fact that she's always the underdog and how she even uses her sexuality. This is why I think the movie is so seminal in a way. It's because I don't remember ever seeing a woman use her sexuality to trick and deceive and to dominate and to conquer and to kill the bad guy. Like literally, that's what she does. So she's never portrayed as like a victim. Or I mean, obviously she is a victim in a way, but she's getting revenge. But she is always a very empowered character and is a very, and it's built off of those experiences. And so you see that. And so that's why I feel like it doesn't, it doesn't seem, frivolous. It seems like, wow, I mean, obviously it's an exploitation film. You enjoy what's going on, but it seems connected somehow. I think that's a testament to her.
You would change or add or take out?
I mean, obviously, every film is a product of its time, like I was saying before, and
like the things that conceit of this podcast.
So I was right. So if I was going to make it today, obviously I would try to anchor it in the things that are happening today in today's context, and even take it deeper, and maybe even give it even more anchored in the character. Dealing with some of the situations that are going on today. But other than that, I mean, to me, this is almost a masterpiece. I wouldn't change anything.
Oh, so this question to both you guys. Does Coffy plan for revenge actually make any sense, since so much of what she is doing is contingent on the men acting exactly the way she needs them to? Like, what if one of these guys just wasn't into her, or was gay, or what was she going to do then?
Well, according to the universe of this movie, gay people don't exist.
Right.
And if they did, they'd obviously be better people than any of the straight people in this one. So I don't think she'd run into that problem. And honestly, I think men act I don't consider this a particularly unrealistic look at the way men behave and how susceptible they could be. Like, we have seen time and again actual shit like this happening. Like, this is why Russian spies can get information out of American men. Because we do this shit all the time. We are this stupid. As a cohort.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I think that her character is portrayed as an improviser, So it doesn't matter if there had been a gay character in it, whatever. I don't think she would have stumbled, She just would have found a way. That was her character. She would have found a way around that. She would have played. Because what's great about her is that she uses everyone's lust against them. Even the politician, he's hungry, and he makes that speech about how he's doing this for sometimes we have to do some bad things for the greater good, and he tries to make all these justifications, and then she turns
which is like exactly
a white girl in his bed. That she has the white girl in the bed. It's like, oh, so yeah. So I mean, the fact that she plays these guys, or she not only does she play them, she kind of she's like jujitsu. Like, she knows what these guys are going to go for, and uses all that stuff against them, which is really cool.
I do want to say there actually is, now that I think about, a gay character in it. She's a lesbian, right? That
oh yeah,
she gets into a fight with.
That's right.
Yep.
So, I don't think we got to see her boobies though.
We don't see her boobies.
Which I was surprised at. Everybody else. What's wrong? She.
Well, how do you think this movie ranks as an action film?
I think it's great. I mean, I like I say, obviously I'm a huge fan of the film. I think it's great. It's just so super entertaining. It's so entertaining for so many reasons. Just taking the time machine back to that 70s, the soundtrack, the costumes, the action, the boobies, the things that you really, I don't even know if you could even possibly get away with now. It's like almost like a guilty pleasure. It's like, can this movie ever even be made today? With the politically correct, woke, thing that we have going on. I mean, can you imagine somebody trying to make this movie today? I mean, it's like, it's just it's so wrong, but it's so wrong, but so right.
What do you think, George?
Yeah, I don't think we could make this today.
Yeah, exactly.
For all those reasons.
Well, what do you think of an action movie?
Oh, as an action, I'm a little spoiled by modernity and CGI. It's kind of slow in that sense. Like, it wasn't a terribly long movie either, but it's hard. It's harder for me to watch older movies because I'm used to the pacing in newer movies.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so I guess we get to the main question as always. Does it still work? I think we already know what Danny's answer is, but Dan, give it to us anyway. Well, does it still work?
I think it really does. And I think, and again, I go back to why I think it works is because of the, because of the character and the things that it was dealing with, in terms of, it really was trying to have some kind of social commentary, as crazy as that sounds. In terms of the context of all the heads blowing off and the boobies popping around, you're like, how could this movie be making a social commentary? But it really was. And that's why I think it was so great that Jack Hill fought for those these talky parts where, I think the speech that the politician gives at the end, to her is absolutely fantastic, and I think her performance is fantastic because, you see Pam Grier, she's really brokenhearted and it really plays. She's just really brokenhearted about realizing that she could kill everybody, but the system is in the end is almost going to win. It's like defeating her, and she kind of comes to that realization when he makes that speech, because a lot of the things he was saying really cut to the heart, in terms of like talking about this corruption and like how deep it goes. And so her reaction to that I thought was just tremendous. And I was like, wow. And it kind of justified in a way, in terms of the movie logic, everything that went before.
Okay. George, does this still work?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it is purely because of the exploitation aspect of it. Because I really want this movie to work. Because there's an actual use case for vigilanteism nowadays.
Okay, calm down.
And there's reasons to feel hopeful that we could stand up against power structures and disrupt them in ways that serve our communities better. But I don't think we can do that in a movie with this many boobs flopping around distracting from that.
Yeah, I would have to conclude with you that I think it is a film I would certainly tell people to see for the historical reasons, for the same reason I would recommend people see Dirty Harry. These films were very important in bringing us to the films we have today. So it's good historical stuff, but for me as a film goer, I'm like, does it still work for me? By today's standards, no. I do think it's a little too slow. It is way too exploitive. Just too much of the boobies. Which again, I like them too, but come on. I mean, there's a scene where the poor woman with Pam Grier is knocked out by one of the thugs, and he unnecessarily just pulls over her blouse before he runs out the door. Like, what?
Right.
Come
Well,
on.
no. It's not just that he's like, oh, they need to escape, but maybe we have time for a rape. No, we don't have time for a rape. But I really want to rape her. No, you don't have to. Well, let me at least squeeze her boobies. Okay, fine. Squeeze her boobies, and then we'll go. Like, it's a little bit gross. It's
gross.
This has, especially in the beginning of this movie, like a sexual assault per second rate that is kind of staggering.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, from a modern perspective, I can see that. Obviously, from a historical perspective, how these films were getting made and why they were getting made and they were, obviously a huge thing was that TV was coming online. The black audience was tremendously underserved in terms of content. Shaft had just come out, and Superfly, and were tremendous hits because of we're finally bringing on, some African American superheroes, basically, and so she was like the first African American heroine, like superhero woman,
Sure.
and so just on that basis alone, I mean, I'm thinking like this movie is priceless. I just feel like this movie kicks so many doors open that I can forgive the cheap thrills along the way that they put in there.
Well, you're certainly right. I mean, certainly this helped get a lot of black actors work, for sure. All these black exploitation pictures. Just,
right.
Some of the stuff they do in them is like, oh.
But all that said, Pam Grier in this movie, oh my fucking God, what a knockout. This
Tremendous.
whole fucking movie. Like,
beautiful woman and a good actress. She's very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like to work more in Jackie Brown and a couple of the other things I've seen of her, but this, she's a good actress.
God, that opening scene, that walk through the airport scene in Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
that entire song worth of walking through JFK. Oh, that. But if I had to stare at somebody for that length of time, Pam Grier.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
All right, so those are our conclusions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
We got 1 yes and 2 no's in terms of does it still work? And why don't you tell us a little, what are you doing? What's any upcoming projects you want to pitch?
Yes, I am now working on a comedy sitcom pilot called Brooklyn Vans that I'm now in post-production of. And so I am now, just finishing that up and trying to, obviously going to try to market this to some production companies that have hopefully some relationships with some streamers to try to get this thing, the whole series, going forward. So if anybody's interested in seeing that work and some of my other things, they can. Instagram is probably the best way to see me, which is they could go to @Brooklyn Vans Pilot on Instagram. @Brooklyn Vans Pilot is the username, or my own name is the Daniel Jordano. The Daniel Jordano with a Jordano. They can find me there.
Wouldn't it be easier for you to do this in LA? What's the difference between trying to pitch a pilot here in New York City as opposed to Los Angeles?
It's interesting. So much is moving out of LA. It's crazy. Like, I'll have a lot of film friends that are saying like nothing is going on there. And meanwhile, they're building studios right over here in New Jersey. Lionsgate has built the studio, and they're building another one that's going to be state of the art, like to rival one of the biggest, the biggest LA lot. So I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe the tax situation over there in California. I have no idea. But nowadays, it's easy to find people either way. I mean, you don't have to be in a certain location because everything's done online. Even auditioning now, I just acted in a vertical project. That's a new thing too that's coming on. And all these auditions are done self-tape.
Okay.
So you just do self-tape and you can send it anywhere in the world. Everything is online now. So
it would be ironic if a lot of studios returned to New Jersey because wasn't the first film actually in New Jersey?
That's right. That's right. Edison, Thomas Edison.
Yeah. So it'd be funny if
that's it.
Come full circle.
New Jersey also has the highest per capita number of highest number of scientists per 1,000 people of all states.
This I did not know.
Yeah.
So why does it suck so?
Why does it smell so bad?
Because we also accept all of New York's trash.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, George, what's up next?
Next week, as we kind of mentioned, we will be talking about Down by Law from 1986.
I haven't seen that in years. Have you ever seen that picture, Dan?
I saw it. I saw it when it came out. Wow. Jim Jarmusch. Yeah, I remember liking it. Is that the one with? Is that the one with the three people?
Yep.
The two. Yeah, and everything. Oh, yeah, it's great because it's shot in a master. There's no coverage. Every scene is shot in one master shot, and then it's like almost like a play, and then it's cut to the next scene, which is really interesting, and it really worked. I remember it really worked.
I've seen it in ages, so yeah. I think I haven't seen it like you since it came out. So
yeah.
revisit it. Do you know what Jarmusch is up to these days? He sort of like disappeared.
I don't.
Jarmusch, the director.
I don't.
I'm curious because like he used to really be and put out these films every year, and then suddenly, zoom, just gone. Like who was that guy? Alex Cox. You remember Alex Cox?
Mm-mm.
He did Sid and Nancy, and
Oh yeah.
like he was really big for a while. Then suddenly, like whatever happened to him? It's always when that happens. Like at least performers, just like our director, suddenly just stop working, or I guess the projects aren't getting funded or something. I don't know.
It's so hard. I mean, you look at the history of some of these filmmakers. Like Orson Welles couldn't get a job. I mean, seriously. I mean, Charlton Heston had to go to bat for him and make threats in order for him to get on Touch of Evil. Otherwise, he wouldn't have worked. I'm like, seriously, Orson Welles.
I mean, Jarmusch directed something that was released this year.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. He just recently got some.
What it is, I don't know.
He's been going.
Father, Mother, Sister, Brother.
And also, who was the director of what is his name? Capricorn. Capra. What is Capra's first name?
Frank Capra.
Frank Capra. Thank you.
Yeah.
Frank Capra also was huge, and then suddenly, the end of his career, couldn't get any projects funded. It's amazing how they just chew you up and spit you out.
It's a rough business. It's a rough business.
Okay, so thank you for joining us again.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you, Danny. It was great having you. This is a lot of fun. I don't have anything new to add to anything.
Do you want to join us for the post show, or do you got to go?
Yeah, I can join you for a little while.
Alrighty.
Cool. All right. So, folks, that's it for this episode. I'm Joe Dixon. Thanks for listening.
And I'm George Romaka. Thanks for listening indeed, because if a podcast drops and there's nobody around to hear it, it's just another collection of ones and zeros that doesn't matter.
You've been listening to Does This Still Work? Produced by Joe Dixon and George Romaka. This content is CAN credentialed, which means you can report instances of harassment, abuse, or other harm on their hotline at 617-249-4255 or on their website at creatoraccountabilitynetwork.org. The hosts can be reached via social media, email, or the contact page at dtswpod.com. Be good to yourself and others, because that still works.
Okay, George, what's up next?
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Dear Ellen Peck, do you believe in revenge? Dear Helen, my husband told me about an affair he was having. Dear Walt, I told this boy how I was going to make my craft fair exhibit, and he went and did exactly what I said I was going to do, only he got it done first.